Yo, what's going on, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new Locals feature match. I know it's been quite a while since I've posted one of these, but good to be back, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy the video. We've got Unchained on the left versus Rescue Ace on the right. And yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to see the Unchained deck go first here, starting with Pot of Prosperity. And they're going to go ahead and banish 6 and reveal 6, of course. And the funny thing happens here. The Unchained player opened up so bad as is, and that Prosperity did not help at all in the slightest, as there's the rest of the remaining hand. And nothing they can take there, apparently, will help them be playable, so they admit defeat. That might be a record for the quickest game won on this channel. I'm not entirely sure, but there it is. We are into game 2. We will see the Unchained deck go first yet again. I see Tour Guide and Abomination's Prison in the hand as well. So it looks like they do have more than one way to play. There's the Ash on the Abomination's Prison, and that forces them to have something else to keep going, and they do. It's Tour Guide, of course, one of the best starters, if not the best starter for the deck, bringing out the Fiendish Rhino Warrior, linking into the Soul Lord Yama, and then using Rhino Warrior effect, and of course Yama effect to go ahead and send the Sharvara. Right, the red one is Sharvara, yeah, the other one's Shyama. And then they'll add the Aruha, and then the Shavara will go ahead and set the Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, and then go Aruha effect, go ahead and blow it up, and then activate the Abominable Chamber to go ahead and special summon one from deck. Now they're going to summon out the Shyama, and they'll use the Shyama effect to go ahead and blow it up. And that's going to summon out the Sarama, and then link 2 into the Unchained Soul of Rage. And here they're going to drop the Nibiru, which may seem a little early, but I think he might have tried to leave main phase there. So, I mean, of course, you got to use the Nibiru. But, of course, they still have plays to be able to make here. The Unchained deck is very resilient to a lot of hand traps. I've played against it a lot recently on my streams, and you know, 1, 2, 3 hand traps sometimes, and the deck still finds a way to end on some form of interruption, whether it be the Unchained Soul of Rage, which can link into SP. Incredible combo, right? That's a nice removal of at least 2 monsters, and then the grind game that SP can give. Or you still end on the Wave King Caesar, which is one hell of a card to begin with. So they're going to use the Shyama here, pop the trap, that's going to summon out the Rikeya. And the Rikeya will pop the token, which will trigger the Unchained Soul Lord of Yama to go ahead and banish itself to bring back the Unchained Soul of Rage. And then they'll pop the Rikeya, and Rikeya effect will proc to go ahead and summon an Unchained from the deck. And I'm sure they're going to go ahead and summon out the Sharvara here, another copy at least, to be able to go into the DDD. Or they're looking at potentially summoning the big Unchained guy, the Unchained, what's its name? Unchained Soul Rage. No, forget its name. But it's the one that when it gets summoned, you can not discard to non-target pop, which could be good just because Nib being able to directly beat over the DDD is kind of tough, so I could see why they want to go for that. But again, they still have Unchained Soul of Rage just to link off with the Nib if they do go battle phase. They also have anti-spell, so through Ash and Nibiru, right, still able to end on the standard board. And there's that Nibiru forcing out the Unchained Soul of Rage, forcing them to tag into SP. SP banishes the Ash in the grave because why not? And Rescue Ace will just admit defeat there, probably just because of that anti-spell, maybe putting in a lot of work. Couldn't really see how many spells he had in hand, but you know, if you can trade with at least 2, that's good enough, especially while having to still deal with the DDD and that SP on field. It's a lot to try to get through. So we're going to game 3. We're going to see the Rescue Ace deck go first, and of course they are on the Sinful Spoils stuff, just like everybody else in the deck. Also a reminder, check out Imperium Duelist, link below. But yeah, they're going to summon out the Black Witch. That's going to discard the Turbulence. That's going to set the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. They're going to use the Infernoble Knight, Noble Arms, Infernoble Arms, Durendal to go ahead and search for a level 5 or lower Fire Warrior. It's going to be the Airlifter. And they're going to go ahead and normal summon Airlifter effect to add a Rescue Ace spell. They're going to add Emergency. and basically just Rhoda, essentially. Well, I guess E-Telly would be the better way to put it. And now they're going to use that Snake Eye to go ahead and send off the Airlifter to summon out a level 1 fire. It's going to be the Hydrant. And then they're going to summon Turbulence. They're going to go ahead and attempt to Valor it on effect activation, which does play into, you know, being able to dodge it with emergency, but they only did that because they had Ash here, so they felt safe in knowing that if they did have the emergency to try to dodge the effect Valor, that they could just stop that as well with the Ash Blossom. Something I learned the other day in a tournament is that sometimes it's not always best to try to imperm Turbulence on effect activation. Sometimes it's actually just better to just imperm it on summon, because it plays around them dodging it with things like Super Poly if they're playing it right, or something like Emergency, right? Or even using something like SP, Little Knight, they can use that to dodge imperm or Valor. So again, you can get around that just by using your imperm or Valor on the summon, but that doesn't mean you've stopped them from resolving Turbulence entirely, because sometimes they can get to a second Turbulence, so just keep that in mind. Now we're going to see them resolve a Prosperity of their own, revealing an Anti-Spell, Nib, Ash, I think Preventer, another Emergency, and I can't tell what that other monster is down at the bottom. It looks like they're going to go ahead and take the Preventer, and now they're going to go ahead and go for a Link 2 into IP Masquerena, and leaving the Fire Hydrant on the field. And then they're going to go ahead and summon out Preventer by banishing the Turbulence. And then linking off. Nope, we're getting hit with Nibiru. All right, yeah. That's a pretty good time to go ahead and Nibiru there. Shutting down quite a lot of things. Getting that Masquerena off the field. Getting the Fire Hydrant off the field. But of course, Preventer will still be able to trigger here since it hit the grave. Summon back a Banished Rescue Ace. It's going to summon out another Turbulence. And our Unchained player, looking like they're pretty much in control at the moment. Especially with this Prosperity going to resolve, or at least hopefully it will resolve for them. And hopefully it's a better Prosperity than they had in the first game, because that was one of the most useless Prosperities that I think I've ever seen. Started off pretty bad there. Double Prosperity Nib. Really, really bad. This Prosperity has been revealing a lot of Prosperities, but also see Abomination's Prison, and I see a Rakea as well on top of Ash, Nib, and double Prosby. So they're going to go ahead and take the Rakea there. Definitely want some engine. They're going to set the Escape, Arua target it, and then Escape effect, go ahead and special summon a Sharvara. And then they're going to go ahead and link 2 into the Unchained Soul Lord Yama effect, and Sharvara. Go ahead and add, go ahead and set. They're going to set the Abominable Chamber, and looks like they're going to go ahead and add the Sarama. They have yet to normal summon yet, so they'll go ahead and do that now. And they're going to go and use the Sarama to set the Arua and destroy it. Special summoning out the Shyama in hand, and linking into the bigger version of the Unchained Soul of Rage, the Unchained Soul of Anguish, and then linking into the Unchained Soul of Rage. And they're going to get hit with a Nibiru, which this is going to be a huge Nibiru token. And they are going to just pass there. And looks like they'll use the Snake Eye Engrave. Perfect way to get them back into engine here. Putting the Black Witch to the bottom, adding a level 1 fire, and it's going to be Hydrant. And they'll normal summon Hydrant to go ahead and add a Rescue Ace card. And that's going to add Preventer. And it looks like they're just going to admit defeat there as, yeah, wow. I mean, that Nib really put them right back into the game after looking like they were completely out of it. Very, very clutch hand trap there. And that is going to do it for the match. We'll see Rescue Ace take it 2-1. And last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members, who are Cadillacs, Pony Stark, HC8 Cyber, Ms. Fid, and Green. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and very, very generous support of this channel.